Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden. Welcome to a show where we're going to be working on the next travel log, which we started on Monday. Was it that soon? Yeah, Monday. This is the pre-show, though, so we're only going to be working on this for about 40 or so minutes, and then we're going to go live over on Twitch. But this is just for the people that clicked the YouTube notification. It's special. There's not many of you here today, so that's it. Yeah, and I got this new background. I used Midjourney to generate it. I said, Cyberpunk Secret Garden pixel art. Something like that. This is what I got. It's pretty slick. I mean, I got several other variations. Actually, I'll show you those really quick because they're really cool. Let me find them. This is live. Yeah, this is live, Indra. It's live right here, right now. I can talk to you. You can talk to me. It's happening. It's happening. But check out this stuff I got done by Midjourney. Okay, so that's that one. And also, I didn't even get to upscale this one because the Midjourney generation it stopped at like 93%, so I just had to crop it out. But it still looks good. That one was also one that didn't go through. This one, so. I mean, this is cool, but like the cactus, you can see is like a little artifacts and stuff. This is cool. It's like a shrine. And then these are the ones that I upscaled. I haven't paid for it, but I might because these are just so cool. I just did it on the free trial today. This is like my first time playing around with it. No, we're gonna Twitch stream right after this. But look at these. These are so cool. The prompt for most of these was Cyberpunk Secret Garden. Yeah, I could use all of them, yeah. Aren't they, like, I am extremely surprised at how good, like, this is super cool. Like, the way that all of these look, like, very digital. Yeah, so whenever you initially sign up for Midjourney, it is a free trial. But yeah, midjourney.com, and then you can follow the instructions. It, like, takes you to a Discord, and then you can generate it. Wow, this one. I really like this one. But also I wanted to pick one that had like more garden plants and stuff like that. Yeah, and then I got tricky with it, and I told it to put a poster on the wall that said the word code. Midjourney does not know how to generate text. I got some really weird results, but these are cool. Yeah, so these are just they're generated by Midjourney with the prompt Cyberpunk Secret Garden. And then we have this one here now. So, but yeah, check out Midjourney. I think it's just midjourney.com. Yeah, this. You can go read about it. You can sign up, and then it puts you into a Discord where you can send your prompts. But it's pretty slick. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go live an hour ago, but I just played around with Midjourney so much. I was like, I'm so like version 4 is insane. It's insane. Use those together with Dolly. Yeah, so that's actually how this started. Because I mean, I guess we're not even talking about Next.js right now, but let's dive into this. Because there's this subreddit called Vintage Pixel Art, where people post pixel art from like various like old games and stuff like that. And I saw this one, and I was like, that's really cool. This is actually from a not safe for work game from 1998, but this part of it was really cool. And so I put this into Dolly 2, and then I did outpainting, and it was all right. Like Dolly 2 is not very good at the pixel art aesthetic. It almost looks like it's painted with like squares instead of looking like pixel art. But I tried to outpaint this. It looked all right. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to try Midjourney. And it's awesome. Well, not that. This. Yeah. Completely remove my table in the garden. Only be in the garden. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just so cool. Look at me. I'm in the garden. The other thing I thought of, though, is I've wanted to, like, I basically don't know what I want in terms of like my pixel art. So like I could use these to hand off to a real artist to be like, hey, I want something in this style or in this aesthetic. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that aside, let's talk about what I'm going to work on today. So if you tuned in on Monday, or if you check out the stream on YouTube um, from Monday, this is what we started working on. So this is a travel log where users can add places that they have visited. So once they've added it, it gets added to the map. It's a nice little pop-up that says where they went, a description, and what day they went there. You can see this and this, Statue of Liberty. And then right now, if you want to add a new place, it just takes you to a separate page. And we did things like form validation. So when you submit it, by default, it'll tell you all of the errors. So let's add a thing. We're gonna add Casa Bonita. A huge Mexican restaurant with cliff divers. So this is Next.js. Yeah, not to confuse you. This is Next.js. And then in roughly 30 minutes, we're going to go work on a SvelteKit app. Cliff divers and free sopapillas. Is that how you spell sopapilla? Sarsapuri. I think that's how you spell sopapilla. So we're using Mapbox for the map. I'll show you that in a second. Let's just find an image of Casa Bonita. Like this. Copy that link. We'll throw that right here. We give it a rating. I give this a rating of 10. Right now, it is very manual. You have to manually put in the latitude and the longitude. But let me get the latitude longitude real quick. For Casa Bonita. So I'm using Leaflet with Mapbox tiles. So yeah, I'll explain all of that in a second. Let me just get this added. So right now you fill in all of the things, you put your latitude, you put your longitude. Manually putting in your latitude and longitude is not ideal. So one of the things I want to work on is I want to make it so that when you're adding a new thing, you're actually on the map and you can just click on the map to get the latitude longitude instead of having to manually specify it. And then you can put what date did you visit this place. I went there before the pandemic, probably like 2019, in like October of 2019 or so, maybe. Oh, actually, you know what? I think it actually was Halloween 2019. So when you click create, that makes a post request to the backend that will put this into a Mongo database, and then it redirects back to the homepage. The homepage re-requests all of the items from the database, and then we should see it listed on the map. So if I click create, now these two are like overlapping because there's two in Colorado. But yeah, and if we zoom in a bit further, we'll see now this one right here is Casa Bonita. So this is what we built. I want to clean things up. I want to add the form to this page so it's not a separate page. And there's a few other things that I want to do. So yeah, so we want the form to be embedded in the page instead of a separate page. And then we need to work on our Zod validator. So let me walk you through the code base real quick. This is a Next.js app using the beta app directory. And honestly, I'm going to do a very quick overview because we don't have much time, but go watch the stream from Monday if you want to know more about this app. But basically, we have some backend endpoints that has a way of creating a new travel log. So it does a post request. We validate it with Zod before putting it in. We also have an API endpoint to list all of the stuff from the database. We then have our model. So we'd created this validator with Zod, so that way we could validate the travel logs before putting them in the database. And all of these types are shared between the front end and the back end, and the validator is shared between the front end and the back end. And then we have the Mongo database collection. So we're literally just using MongoDB, nothing special. We tell it that this will be a collection of that type that we generated with Zod. And then we render it out. So we have the map, which is a client-side component. This is a Next.js 13 beta concept where if you say use client, it's essentially like a JavaScript island. It's essentially a component that can only run on the client. And this is the map. So we're using Leaflet, and we're specifically using React Leaflet to get the components for it. And when this page renders, it gets an array of logs from the backend. we center the map around all of the points. So you'll notice when I first load this page, it's centered around all of the points that are on the map. I added this off stream. If there's nothing in the database, it just centers to like the middle of the world map. And then it renders out the map, iterates over all of the logs, and puts them on the page. So that's what we've got so far. Let's work on this, showing the create form as a sidebar. So basically, instead of taking me to a new page, a totally separate page for adding, when I click this, I actually want to embed it on the page as like a sidebar, like from the right-hand side. So let's work on that. YouTube chat is there, isn't it? Or did it die? It died. Lester, you literally sent that message on YouTube. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's right there. Okay. Hello. Let's do this. So, I think, if we take a look on the home page, stream. I don't think I even have a command for adding new suggestions. We should though. We should. I mean, honestly, I guess, yeah, that's it. You could do exclamation mark submit or exclamation mark idea. That puts it on Vox. But I kind of want to create a Discord channel for that. Okay, so this is the server-side rendered page. This is actually one of the things you get in Next.js 13. This is a server component. You can see that I am literally querying my database right inside of this React component. And this is known as a server component. So basically, this can only run on the server. It's server-side renders this, and then it loads in the travel log map, which is a client-side component. But I think what I want is, now that we have this div that's fixed on top of the travel log map, when we click add travel log, instead of going to another page, I want to show the sidebar. So honestly, I think I'm going to extract this out into a client-side component, and we're just going to call this travel log form sidebar. Let's call it travel log sidebar, like this. We want this component. Let's create it. So I have this components folder. We're going to create a file called travel log sidebar. And this is going to be a client-side component because it's going to have JavaScript. Basically, anytime you want to do use state or click events and stuff like that, you have to do use client in Next.js 13. This is VS Code. If you head over to Twitch, there's links and stuff. So editor, I think. Yeah. And theme. So if you go to twitch.tv/codinggarden, you can like run these commands and click these in the chat. The commands don't work on YouTube right now, but I'm working on a bot that will work on YouTube. Okay, so we gotta create this component. And thanks for that, Mark. Yeah, if you can do a copy paste. Export default function travel log sidebar. And this is going to return some JSX like this. We don't want to link anymore. This is literally just going to be a button that when we click it, it will toggle some state to say like the sidebar is open. So let's just make sure that this works. Now we've basically moved this logic into a client component. And now we need to import it. So we'll import travelog sidebar from components/travelog sidebar. We don't need Next.js link anymore. And export default function travelog sidebar. Defined but never used. Oh, I put a capital B down here. So now it should be used. This should give us the exact same functionality. Well, in that, well, let's make sure something weird's happened now. Yeah. Now that we move this to a client-side component, the size of the map isn't working. We kind of broke that. Let's just make sure that that's what's breaking it. I'm gonna comment it out. Yeah. Well, no. We're going to do a little hacky thing that someone told me we might have to do. Basically, we are invalidating the size of the map to make it full screen. We're gonna hack it and wait 200 milliseconds before doing that so that it resizes. Yeah, it's not ideal. Really, we want to make 200 milliseconds to do all of this. Yeah. It seems hacky. It's kind of just what we need to do because we need to wait for the page to load before we resize it. Great. But now I want this button to open a sidebar. So we need some client-side state inside of this component. So I'm going to say like sidebar open. This is going to be a state variable, and we'll have set sidebar open. And I totally forgot. We actually are using Daisy UI, so we can actually go look at some of their sidebars. But we'll do useState from React, and this starts off as false. But let's go look at Daisy UI, because this is what we're using for some of the front-end components, like that button that you were seeing. And I do believe they have a sidebar. So they call it a drawer, like that. Wouldn't something like the onload function? Probably. Let me just add it to do, because I don't feel like working on that right now. To do, less hacky way. But we're working on the sidebar right now. This is super interesting. So they're opening the sidebar using just like a checkbox. Fascinating. I want to put the drawer on the right though. Let's see what we get if we do this. From the right side of the page. This is what I want then. So I think we want our drawer to be the thing that has this Z index. Something like this. And then maybe we want a I don't think the drawer will disable the map. We'll work it out. Oh, this is telling me I need to put the drawer on the top level component. I don't think I want to do that either. We have a drawer toggle. We have open drawer that toggles this checkbox. And then the label gets displayed. Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure we can do all of this with JavaScript. So let's just see what that did for us. Where is that drawer? Let's find it. It's way down there. So we want to position it in the same way. Maybe. But we'll do it right 0, top 0, so that it'll be like right next to the thing. Okay, that's on the left. Ultimately, it's just a div with a specific style. So, let's look and see what this drawer side class is doing for us. Nothing? Yeah, the label could work, but I'm just gonna use JavaScript to handle it. Wait, and then is this menu what we're saying? Okay, honestly, this menu is kind of what we want. And then I don't even think we need this drawer class. Yeah, this is more of what I'm thinking. That puts it over there. That's really all we want. And we can do height full. So it takes up 100% height, or it should. We want height full on the menu. Yeah, okay. So we have this sidebar here. Are we zoomed in? Yeah, we're zoomed way in. So typically, this is what it's going to look like whenever we open the sidebar. So we're on our way. But basically, we don't want to show this unless the show sidebar or sidebar open is true. So when we click this button, so on click, we will say set sidebar open. Yeah, my editor does not want to work with me. Set it to true. So when we click the button, we're going to set it to true, and we only want to show the sidebar if sidebar open is true. Like this. Now this whole div goes inside of there. And now let's see what happens. We click it, the sidebar is there. I do believe Tailwind has some animations, so we probably have like a fly-in animation. Isn't that a thing? That should be a thing, right? I guess we could transition the opacity. That might be what we do. Let's try that really quick. I mean, honestly, we don't have to worry about. We probably shouldn't worry about animations. We should just get it working. But I'm curious. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about that. Why not use the toggle checkbox? Because I don't want to. we're gonna use, like, the thing is, this thing is already not accessible because it's a map and requires like point and click. Like I don't even know how an accessible user would need to use or would be able to use this map. So we're gonna use JavaScript. I guess all of the animations are coming from drawer. I mean, you're probably right, PTSD, but I'm just gonna go with what my instincts tell me, so that way we can get this thing done, because I have to leave in 15 minutes, literally. So this seems fine. It opens it. We don't want to show. I guess we don't even really want a menu here. I think I can pull these classes to the parent, which will style the div like this. Yeah, so now we just have a big black div, and we can put the form inside of that. So right here, we can put the travel log form like this. Yeah, so the checkbox adds and removes a class, but I didn't even see where that was actually happening. But let's see. Now, look at that. Look at that. Now, when I click this, we have our little form. And when I click create, now actually we don't want to do a redirect. We actually want to just reload the logs on the page. This seems fine, though. Let's actually just test this out. So where else have I been? I'm going to add Big Bend National Park. Huge state park with look, Mark, look, stop it. Delete your comment right now. I'm trying to just get this done because we only have 13 minutes left. So basically, I guess I didn't mention this earlier. All of this code that I write, I'm going to reuse in a tutorial. So if there's like little UI things like this, I'm going to fix it in the end tutorial. I just need to get it done. So huge state park. You can see the Milky Way. at night. Let's get an image. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Put that image there. I give it a 10 out of 10. And let's go find it on the latitude, longitude of it. Can I explain server-side props? Is that a thing? I can explain server-side components. They just get server-side rendered. Literally all of the code in the server-side component runs on the server. Oh, I see what you mean. So in Next 13, there is no server-side props. There is no server-side props. It actually simplifies it quite a bit. Yeah, what's up, Gosniak? This is live. It is, yeah. I'll show you that in just a second. So there's our latitude. There's our longitude. When did I visit this? Had to have been like 2010, maybe? And it was in the summertime. Let's call it July of 2010. July 15th, 2010. Create. And it's there. So that's awesome. It just works. It just works. What we need is we need logic in the form that like closes the form, resets itself whenever something's been added. That's actually what we need here. So I am going to pass down. I'll say like on complete. We'll pass a function that just sets the sidebar open to false. And then now I'll define an onComplete prop inside of the travelog form. So the form is now going to take in onComplete. We can define some props for this. So travelog form props. This is just going to be an interface where onComplete is a function which returns nothing. Yeah, that's it. That's all we want. And then now we can call onComplete when we have a successful submission. So right now we were redirecting to the homepage. Honestly, I think this is actually okay to do. What I was thinking is we were going to need to re-request the entire list of logs, but Next.js is just handling the it's handling refreshing the page and getting loading the data itself. So we'll do that here. What's the difference between interface and type? Interfaces can be extended and inherited from. Types are as they are defined. That's in the simplest terms. There's a lot more to it. If you search YouTube, you'll find some good stuff on interfaces versus types. Okay, so on here I'm going to call onComplete, and I'm also going to reset the form. And I do believe, so we're using a library called React Hook Form. Yeah, and it gives us this function called reset. So if the thing was successful and we're going to redirect, I'm actually going to reset the form as well. So this should do what we want. I don't know what that is, Ashish. Yeah, I haven't heard of that project, so I probably won't do that. You usually declare the interfaces in the same file. It depends. It depends. Yeah. So this interface is only ever going to be used with this component because it's defining the props that go into the component. So I think it makes total sense to just put the interface in this file. If you have types and interfaces that are used across your project, you might put them in like a shared interfaces folder. And in this case, travelog is a shared interface. Like I'm not defining the interface here, but Zod gives us a way of grabbing that interface. But I define it here because I'm using this in the API code for the database. I'm using this on the front end. I'm using it in the form. So it makes sense to put it in a shared file. I think if it's used in only one place, keep it there. Otherwise, put it in its own file. Okay. This should do the thing. I think we also want a cancel button on the form. So I'm also going to pass in another function called it onCancel. that's going to do literally the same thing. So I'm actually going to put this in a variable now. I'm just going to call this close sidebar. And then I'm going to put this into a variable called close sidebar. But now close sidebar is this. It just literally sets it to false. And now we can say that we also accept on cancel, which is the same thing. It's just a little void function. And we can put a little cancel button on top of the form or at the top of the form, like right here. So let's grab a button. Like this. And in the form, right here, I think we'll put it outside the form, and we'll wrap this in a, what do you call that? What's that thing called? That? a fragment. We're going to wrap it in a fragment. So now we have the button on top of the form. And then on click, I am going to call on cancel. This. And we're going to call this button danger, I think. We'll have to look at Daisy, and we'll just say cancel right here. Yeah, so you could use callback, because basically this function gets recreated on every render. But people a lot smarter than me have done performance testing and a lot of stuff, and basically they say if you were to use callback for such a simple case, it actually is less performant. So I just don't use it at all. So, I mean, I know there are some cases where like there's like a really big function I think it would make sense to use, but this would be a scenario where you wouldn't want to recreate this on every render, but apparently you kind of do according to the performance tests that people have done. So, but yeah, this is something that's a use case for use callback, but basically there are people that tell you just don't use it. All right, let's find what would be a red button. Error. Yeah, so button error is actually what we wanted. Yeah, thank you. How do I say your name? Yeah, there we go. So we have that cancel button. I'm just going to put that to the right-hand side. So let's put this in a little flex box so I can push it to the right. So I'll give this a class of flex. Psst. I'll call you Psst. I'll just call you P. What's up, P? Daisy UI is, yeah, very much like Bootstrap, except it's built on top of Flexbox. But yeah, you could think of it like the Bootstrap of the Tailwind world. What did I say? Built on top of Tailwind. Daisy is built on top of Tailwind. I think I misspoke there. Daisy's built on top of Tailwind. It's a lot like Bootstrap. Flex, justify, end. So that should push the button to the right. It is weird that we're not getting hot reloading. I guess not weird, but maybe we might actually have to set something up for it. I didn't ignore you, Ashish. I answered your question. But now I click that and it goes away. That's what I wanted. The other thing we could do, though, is on cancel, we could also reset the form. So on click, we cancel, but we also reset the form, so anything you typed gets cleared out. So if I say like this, and then I click cancel, and then open it back up, the form has been reset, so it's not there anymore. So that's pretty cool. That does that. Let's go ahead and handle form posting errors. So basically this fetch request right here could throw an error, like if the server is not reachable. Like this. And we could also do this. What's up, Vittorio? We're working on the same app we started working on Monday. So if response.OK, so OK is a Boolean that'll be true if the response had a successful status code. So if the response was OK, we can just go back to the home page, reset the form, close the sidebar. If the response was not OK, I do know that my backend's going to respond with JSON, so I can parse the response, and then we'll throw an error with JSON.message because in my backend API, if there was an error, I send it as an object, a JSON object with a message property. So basically, we're now going to use that in the front end. And if there was an error here, then we can set the error. So I'm going to do set form error. I'll create my own state variable. And this is just going to be error.message. TypeScript's going to complain because it's like, you can't be sure that's an error, but I know it's an error. So I'm going to say error is E as error, like this. And then now we will have a form error. Yeah, listed is going live in 2 minutes. We only have 2 minutes, so I think we did enough to for this. But here's what I want. I want a set form error and I want a form error. And it'll default to the empty string. And then we need to pull in useState from React. So we have useState, and then if there is a form error, we're going to put it right at the top of the form, like right here. I have a little div that has the form error inside of it, and we only want to show this if there is a form error. Like this. Yeah, of course, Vittoria. I want an alert, like this. Look at that. That's a nice error. Something like this. So that I'm actually going to put right here. And it has, what is the SVG for? Oh, it has that little, I'm okay with that. It's like a little error X. So right here, we're going to have form error like that. Cool. And then I guess the other thing is whenever we submit the form, let's actually clear out the error. So let's set form error to be the empty string. So that way, when you submit the form, if there was an error on the server side, then you'll see that error here. Oh, thank you, Prince. Appreciate that. All right, now to test this, let's not specify any sort of validation. So let's remove all validation from the front end and try to get a server error, because the server side is also validating the data that we send. So let's send a completely empty form. This is what we want to see. So the server responds with an actual Zod error. And this error is coming from the server side. So good to see. Let's write ourselves a little to-do, clean up Zod error message. Yeah, you missed it, SQL Gordster. We do it. So on cancel, I reset the form too. So yeah. So clean up that Zod error message, and then I just noticed a bug where the sidebar does not scroll. So actually, I hope it can be fixed with overflow Y auto. Let's see. So we open this, we try to submit it. Well, let's remove our client side validation so that way we can see that server side error. Open our form, click create, it's there, and we can scroll. Beautiful. All right. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to commit this code, and I'll work on this again later. So show create form as a sidebar. We're doing that. We are showing the server errors. We're reloading the map. This is one feature we want to add is instead of manually specifying latitude, longitude, I want to be able to click on the map to pull that into the form here. So it's a better user experience, but we'll do that later. So let me just commit this, and then we're going to go live over on Twitch. I did not mean to do that. One minute. Hey. Oh, this is another error that we need to fix. And so somebody asked the question earlier. I'm in a rush, obviously, and I apologize. Over on Twitch, I think I'll be in less of a rush because we got all day. But somebody asked about what are server-side props. Server-side props are a way of taking data that you got on the server side. So in this case, logs come from a database. So this can only ever happen on the server. And then we're passing those props down to travel log map, which is a client-side component. So these are known as server props. In Next.js 13, it looks really nice. In Next.js 13 beta, it looks really nice with the app directory. Before, you had to do something like this. You had a function called get server side props. And then inside of here, you did your database code and anything else, and then you return an object, and then you get access to that over here. But with get server side props, you know that this function will only ever run on the server because it needs to do like database stuff. And then this is how we pass it down. But this was really cumbersome because you had to like separate out your code like that. Now in Next 13 app with the app directory, you can literally just query the database right here. I'm coming. Give me a second. Give me a second. But we're actually getting an error here because we're passing down the data, and then Next.js is like, hey, I do not know how to convert a date object to the client side. So we kind of need to do serialize date objects. Maybe use a timestamp instead. Okay, we're going to commit this. Add form sidebar. Push that up. If you want to look at this code, it's over on github.codinggarden/next travel-log. And it's all there. And then also, if you want to see me start like building this thing, it's on my YouTube channel. So if you look at the live section, I went live 3 days ago. It was a pretty long stream, but we discussed a lot of stuff. we worked a lot of stuff out. So check that out there if you want to watch the rest of it. But we'll continue working on it. But like I said, this is going to be an app where I create a more formalized tutorial after I have figured it out and built the whole thing. I'll basically turn it into an hour-long tutorial without all of the extra stuff. That's the plan. All right, let's go live over on Twitch. So twitch.tv/codinggarden, we're actually going to be working on an app called Listed, which is an app built with SvelteKit. And today we're going to be implementing auth. So if that interests you, definitely click that link right there. I think I can pin this. Click that link right there. Head over to Twitch. I'm going to go live over there. And yeah, I'll see you there. Also, if you want to get caught up on what Listed is, you can go to this URL, cdg.sh/listed devlogs. If you go here, this is the playlist of some of the summaries of the past streams. So if you watch these, you'll be caught up on pretty much everything that we're doing over on Twitch. Though, honestly, the only prerequisites for what we're actually doing today are probably the first one, which is like the Prisma and database setup. Maybe we'll do some UI stuff, but it's mainly going to be like back-end off kind of stuff. All right. Listed. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. I realized this was like super rushed. I wanted to go live like, I don't know, an hour before this. But I will continue working on the next travelogue. Thank you for tuning in. That's it. That's all. Please check me out on Twitch. Go over there. Let's do good stuff. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And until next time, here's this.